Today in Algebra 1 we learned about X and Y intercepts. An X-intercept is the place where the graph intersects the x-axis. And always y will be equal to 0. The y-intercept is where the graph intersects the y-axis. And in that case, x is always equal to 0. That should make sense to you. X-intercept, x-axis, y-intercept, y-axis. Okay, the first part that we need to look at is when we're looking at a graph, how do I find the x and y intercepts from that? To do that, I'm going to look at the x and y axis. The x-axis is going to give me the x-intercept, the y-axis will give me the y-intercept. So for example number 1, if I draw that out, and I have this point here and this point here. Get a line. If I'm looking for the x-axis, I'm going on the x-intercept on the x-axis. I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, negative 4. So the x-intercept is negative 4, comma 0. The y-intercept, I'm going to go here to the y-axis, down 1, 2, 3. So it's 0, negative 3. There should always be a number in the place. So this is the y-intercept. There should be a number in the y-coordinate. X-intercept, there should be a number in the x-coordinate. Another example like this would be, if we look at this graph right here, if we're looking for the x-intercept, we can count over, and in this case, again, it's negative. That's just a coincidence, so it's over 2, so it's negative 2, 0. And the y-intercept, if I look at the y-axis, is up 3, so it's 0, 3. And that's all I have to do to find it from a graph. The second thing we want to look at is how to find it if we're looking at an equation. And to do that, we're going to replace with zeros and solve. Okay, and when I say replace with zeros, I mean replace the x with 0 and solve for y, and then replace the y with 0 and solve for x. So it's a two-step process every time. Example 3. 3x plus 2y equals 12. So my first equation will be 3, in place of x I'm putting 0, plus 2y equals 12. The other equation will be 3x plus 2, in place of y I'm putting 0, equals 12. 3 times 0 is 0, so that goes away. And on this side I have 2y equals 12. Divide both sides by 2, and y equals 6. So my y-intercept is 0, 6. On this one, I have 2 times 0, which is 0, so that one goes away. And I have 3x equals 12. Divide both sides by 3, and x is equal to 4. So I have the point 4, 0. And that's my x-intercept. Those are my two answers. Two more problems, one very similar to this one. Negative 3x plus 5y equals 30. I'm going to show you the shorthand method on this one. I'm not going to write out all of the zeros, although I could follow the same process through, plug in a 0, solve for y, plug in a 0, solve for x, and I would get the same answers. In this case, I'm going to use my finger to cover up the variable that I'm plugging in 0 for, and then I'm going to solve the other one. So if I'm covering up the y, I'm plugging in 0 for y. I know that negative 3x equals 30. To get x by itself, I divide both sides by negative 3. 30 divided by negative 3 is negative 10. So my x-intercept is negative 10. The y piece is 0 on that one. Now go the other way. If I cover up the 0 for x, so this point's going to be 0 something, I have 5y equals 30. To get y by itself, I divide both sides by 5, and 30 divided by 5 is 6. So the y-intercept is 0, 6. I have one last problem that I want you to take a look at. And there'll be some like this on your assignment. This is example 5. And that's 5y minus 1 equals 7y plus x. The thing that's different about this one is that there are y on both sides of my equation, so that could cause me a problem. I need to get all of my y's together. You could move the 7y this way, but I think it'll be easier to move the 5y, so I'm going to subtract that from both sides. And I have negative 1 equals 2y plus x, because I combine these two for being like terms. Now I can follow that same process. I'm going to show you the 0 way again, just so we can be more precise. I'm going to do it twice. Over here, 2 times 0 is 0, so that goes away. And I have negative 1 equals x. So I'm done with that piece. That's my x-intercept. On this one, this 0 goes away. And to get y by itself, I divide both sides by 2. And so y equals negative 1/2. So this one is 0, negative 1/2. And that's my y-intercept. Now I have 2 answers. Just don't forget, if you have more than one of a variable, you need to move it around so that you can have it all packed into one. The assignment for this is A8, and it's page 306, numbers 13 to 21.